it's not simply about how well you play your instrument. I think that there's a lot more, obviously, that goes into it. One needs to have an understanding of history, world history. It's very important since the composers who are writing for quartets are expressing their innermost thoughts most of the time. I think, like, especially with Beethoven in the late quartets, I think it's important to have the knowledge of the historical context of these works. I think that perhaps winning a job in an orchestra has to do more with how well and how precise you play your instrument at that moment in the audition. That's not to say that that doesn't take intellect and curiosity, but I think that playing in a quartet is kind of more encompassing.
People I've known or with whom I've worked who come from Austria and Germany tend to begin, whether their level of technical accomplishment goes along with it or not, from a place of more intellectual rigor, simply because the kind of training they receive doesn't allow them to separate the technical issues, the tradecraft, as it were, from what in the end we're attempting to do, which is to make music. In comparison with many other places in this country and in other countries where literally the playing of the instrument is treated as a craft no different from learning blacksmithing or something similar. There are plenty of quartets here and elsewhere with a tremendous level of technical accomplishment, but very little going on intellectually. Some with the opposite problem. But of course, speaking only personally, I consider myself fortunate, especially in the case of my teacher Orlando Cole, to have spent so much time around a person of such intellectual rigor and curiosity, so that from the beginning, as much work as I did to please him with my learning of the instrument, all the technical concerns, it was never about that. And it's a balancing act, because of course learning to play these instruments is so bloody difficult. We spend thousands of hours as youngsters doing things over and over and over, and oftentimes the window during which we should be absorbing the kinds of influences which will allow us to be good musicians later has closed by the time we're ready to confront those things.